Hey, it's Anthony and Tucker with Land Title, and we wanted to bring you our Boulder County update for the month in this pretty new version.
We have wonderful still in this market shift of kind of what we're seeing now, what we have been seeing, and what we should be seeing going forward. So let's go ahead and start off with our averages. We're just taking a look here, taking a look. We're really seeing our active inventory climb, but it's still a fast market. It hasn't slowed down, so you're still going to be getting a lot of offers. Hopefully, you'll still be seeing properties move quickly. You still need to be getting those what are those pre-qual letters out fast. All that stuff is still going to be happening. It's still a fast-moving market. There's just more inventory, so there's more options for clients to go buy.
Yeah, it's been a really good sign, and the attached and detached markets are running pretty in sync right now. The attached market, unlike last year, has no inventory. So that being said, it's actually trailing maybe behind the detached market for the first time in a very long time. The one thing that I want to point out more than anything in this market is that all the submarkets are going to transition at different paces, right? So we're seeing rising inventory, but where is it rising the fastest? Well, the city of Boulder is rising the fastest because the city of Boulder has the highest price point, the most barriers to entry. The other things that are really adjusting, and actually this one surprises me, but for the first time ever, there's inventory in Erie. Right? And inventory in Erie is showing to be very beneficial for consumers because they want to live there. People really truly want to be out in Erie. So if you're going to live in Erie and you've never been able to buy a house because there's no inventory available, now you don't have to compete nearly as much. There's a lot going under contracts. We're seeing a lot going on with these submarkets. The nuances in the market right now are where you need to pay the most attention. And that's why we're bringing these to you so you can see kind of the differences and what's the most important to highlight when you're working with those borrowers, right? And I think it's really important to look at Lafayette and Erie specifically because those markets are where we're seeing a lot of those homes under $1 million that are really being affected by interest rates.
And that's where they can get that beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bath home under $1 million, maybe even under $900,000 now.
Right.
So that's where we're seeing a lot more product come available for those, families that need to find that replacement home from the Marshall fires, whatever it may be. There's a lot of good opportunity there. Now, if we're looking at our month supply of inventory, this is a big number. First time of the year that we've over 1 month of supply of inventory. And just as you all remember, this will change based on our submarkets, but even as a county as a whole, we're pretty homogeneous that, we just have a little bit more inventory. The buyer demand is still there, but the inventory is finally kind of coming on the market, and that's not existing inventory. That's new listings are hitting the market. So if you have folks out there, if you have folks who are kind of on that verge of, we're going to take a break, no, now's not the time. Keep going now before rates keep going, and we have inventory. So they're not making bidding wars. They're going in at asking, maybe a little bit under asking.
Well, I would put out a projection on this too, that, with the interest rate rise, with the buyer demand coming down slightly, usually this is about the time where May, June, July is where we kind of peak in our inventory, and then we start to see it trail off towards the end of the year. I mean, you can see it in 2020, but 2020 was a very abnormal year. Yeah. You can see kind of in 2021 where we peaked sort of in July because a lot of homes come on the market, and then buyers kind of slow down towards the summer because they get busy, but sellers are still kind of ramping up. This year, I think that that buyer demand is going to be the one we're really pushing for. So the lender side of this is so important because you guys are really helping those buyers stay active, stay qualified, stay engaged. And we're going to see rising inventory probably all the way until I would say October, November, because with interest rates restricting the amount of buyers in the marketplace, there will be more sellers continuing to list, even though we keep telling them to list earlier and earlier, because that's just what's convenient, right? Sellers list.
It did on Friday. We all experienced that. So what does that really mean to you? Hey, before it gets worse, get your folks going. Now's the time. Inventory's hitting the market. Keep them engaged. And now we're hitting that marathon part, so really keep your buyers engaged.
So enough said about that. This is the most important one that you guys are in. Well, I mean, you're responsible for a lot of this, and we have these very active buyers that are, they've been running a marathon, but now they're in a dead sprint for the finish line. So here we are, 9.5 days on market. This is the fastest days in MLS that we've seen going back, as long as I know, as long as we have data probably. And it's just the pace of this market is incredible. Lafayette might be the fastest market in the entire country at 5.5 days in the MLS. You're talking about a bidding war weekend in Lafayette where, maybe the market as a whole is a week or two. That doesn't mean we don't, if you want to get those good listings, you really got to get out and get active early still. Like if they come out on a Wednesday or Thursday, those guys need to go shop Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
But if you need to be available on a Sunday to make sure offers get in, this is still that market where we've got to do that.
And that means they need your pre-qual letters. They need you to hop on the phone, call that listing agent, sell that great story of how wonderful your buyers are.
It's still important, and it really is still
it.
so driven by your guys' behavior.
Yeah, and you can help so much on getting these properties under contract by you telling them how great your borrowers are and all the little perks. So don't think that you're out of the woods and you can take your weekends off yet. You're still needed as always. So sorry to say that, but
take your Tuesdays off.
Yeah, that's right. Take Tuesdays and Wednesdays off.
So, all joking aside, let's take a look at our by price point. So the biggest things to look at here by price point, 1 to 2 million, straight up bananas, right? This is the craziest market we've seen in a while. It's moving so fast. If they don't have to qualify for a ton of money, or if they're not real price sensitive on payment, I mean, hey, it's Boulder County. It's the coolest place in the world to live. Now, where we really see this change is under $1 million, right?
So we're seeing a big change in under $1 million. And that's really just the factor of affordability. What you could get at that 3 to 3.5% loan versus a 6.5% loan is a huge difference on your monthly payment, especially those folks who are already, very price limited. Now, fortunately, we have a lot of folks who are not price limited in our demographics and in our area. And that's what we're seeing is driving this market is those who are, that's really kind of constricted. Those are the people exiting. Those are the people really focusing on, hey, lower product types, lower cost points because of that monthly payment. Then the other flip side is the other side of that coin. Those folks who can afford it, they're still going hot. They're still sending. They're still spending. They're still going for it. They're going into those really nice luxury or semi-luxury properties. So we're seeing a lot of cash, and we're also seeing still delayed financing. So it's not a bad idea to keep working that angle.
So that all being said, the market is moving at a really fast pace. You can see here by price range, the days on market. It doesn't really matter which one they are. Even at 3+ million, 24 days is not unreasonable. It's pretty fantastic. Yeah. But we are seeing rising in inventory. So the higher the price point, the faster that inventory looks like it's rising. 3 months ago, we had 2.5 months of inventory in 3+ million. Here we are, 6.5 months of inventory. This is a buyer's market at 3+ million right now. For the first time since 2020?
Since mid-2020 when luxury just
exactly
flying off the shelves.
Yeah, so this is exciting stuff. This is a really interesting time. We're starting to see a little more normalcy in the months supply of inventory. We should see the higher price ranges have higher amounts of inventory on the market. There are less qualified buyers in those markets, so that makes sense. When you're working with those buyers, help them to understand that we're back to a spot where trade-ups could make sense if they're not interest rate sensitive, right? If they're sitting at a 3% loan and they're going to buy a 5% loan, that makes them really sensitive to that. But if it's really just, hey, I've got a lot of equity, I would like a bigger house, this could be a good time to do that.
You're getting older, new kids are on the way.
Exactly.
Reasons why you need to expand or downsize.
Exactly.
The downside is going to be hard because you can see the competitiveness is so high on those lower price bands because it's all these, those meat and potato folks of, 600,000 to $1 million. They're all getting pushed down a price band or two. And by everyone getting pushed down a price band or two, it's really increasing the competition, both for attached and detached, for those more affordable segments.
Absolutely. So there's one more slide that's price point based, but before we get to that, I wanted to talk just a quick second about the sold analysis for the county. We didn't really talk much about this, but we've been trending about 15% below last year's sales. So, right, there's less deals to go around. You can feel that kind of frenzy in the marketplace. When you're working with realtors, they're kind of feeling the pinch. We're all feeling the pinch a little bit too, but we're starting to see that rise because with some inventory on the market and, a little more certainty in the markets, the stock markets, bond markets, all of that, we understand a little bit more about what we're experiencing, what we're getting into, what the Fed's, doing. All of that stuff really is helping some stability. So, yes, we're going to be down. A lot of that is due to the buyer pool constricting a little bit.
But it's also what killed us at the beginning of the year when everything was so hot is we didn't have any inventory.
Exactly.
If we had the inventory now in, February, this would be a banner year. This would be a record year for everybody.
Exactly.
But we didn't have the inventory when it mattered. So we're going to have the inventory now with the higher rates, so it's going to take longer and it's going to look more painful than it is. While buyers are exiting, we still have a really fast market. We still have enough buyers that we're going to be able to keep going on the inventory. Hopefully you're not going to be having to see these crazy 14-day loan closes. You're not going to be seeing these appraisals that are way out of whack. People are coming up with 200,000 appraisal gaps. We're going to see a little bit more of a normal market. Things are going to trend back to being a stable, healthy buyer and seller market.
Well, and you can
We're
really
still
see
trending
this in
though.
the
Still
submarkets,
trending.
right? So in Erie, like I was telling you, we had no inventory for literally years. Now we have 87 sold in 1 month, last month in Erie, and the big part of that is that's 18% increase. So where there was inventory, where there was pent-up demand, where we're still seeing it, you're seeing it in Lafayette too. Lots of sales, lots going on. It's exciting. Places like Boulder are pulling back in a hurry. So be cautious, be mindful of those different marketplaces. Last year was such a banner year, though, that 14% down is going to put us right back in line with somewhere around 2019 levels. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And we were just looking at
Right,
some of
we
these
haven't gotten more
2019
housing
stuff.
units.
We're about 5-6% up from 2019. So if we exclude the pandemic years, we're tracking to 2019 very closely, and that was a great year for real estate.
And we're talking total sales, right? We're
Total
talking
sales.
tracking with market activity. So the last thing of this and the last piece that you guys need to know for working with all those buyers is when you look at it by price range, what do they need to expect in the bidding wars? So the big factor here is the market is shifting a month or two early, right? Because of interest rate rises. So last year, May was the peak percentage list sale price. It capped at 106, 107%, somewhere in there. And now here's May. We're back at 106, 107%, but we were way higher in April because of the shortage of inventory that took place in February and May, or in March, I'm sorry. And so as that trends down, it's going to trend down faster. They need to understand that the bidding wars won't be as extreme, even though the cost of borrowing money might be a little bit more expensive. It's a little less chaotic. And we're going to get back down to a more reasonable level a little bit faster than we would have in the previous year.
And we've all seen this as well. We're also seeing a lot of price cuts, homes being relisted, being modified, taken off, putting back on.
Exactly.
We're starting to see that normal behavior of it taking 3 months, or 3 weeks to sell a house. That's normal.
And where should they expect the bidding wars? I mean, I think that 1 to 1.5 million range. Oh, man. They're not as price sensitive.
They know what they want.
All of it over really 1 million is doing that. But in that 1 to 1.5 million range, and you see it here from 2 to 2.5 million range, I mean, the bidding wars above a million are still pretty prevalent, right? Those primo homes, those great lots, like people want to live here in Boulder County.
There's only so many houses with that view. There's only so many houses turnkey, ready to go, and people are willing to pay a premium not to go through the construction, not to go through the permitting, and not to go through
the
that
construction, the paint, the whole process.
Or it doesn't work for their family situation. They can't have an active remodel. So what we're seeing a lot, know where the competitiveness is, really in those upper, less price sensitive areas, be ready to see more of those wild 14-day harder deals, because that's where the competitiveness is still at.
All right, we'll see you next time. Hope to see you on our next lender update next month. And if nothing else, don't forget, we're here to help you out if you need anything when it comes to market data. We're just helping to answer some of these questions with, what to expect out there in the world.
And not just market data, marketing.
See you next time.
Take care.
And if you look at it from an attached perspective, attached had some inventory last year, which made it so maybe it was a better alternative. This year, attached is really in line with the detached market, and you're seeing the listed sale price also be really high. That 1 to 1.5 million range in the attached market is gangbusters, right? It's moving so rapidly, just like in the detached market, and they're super desirable. So we have really two divisions of buyers at this point. We have cash-heavy people that don't seem to be as affected by interest rates, and we have people that are really limited to what they can qualify for. So the lower end of the market is suffering in that respect. One of the other things that I think I really wanted to talk about here was just total number of sales. So let's go back to that slide, and that would be a good one for us to kind of finish off on. Now, if I could ever get there, that'd be great. All right, so either way, if you have questions on the market, you have concerns, please reach out to me. I'm always happy to chat on it, and I hope to catch you in the next video. And if you need local insights, look me for those as well. See you next time.